sitting up, right? If you're on the floor, you're up on blankets or something to allow your knees to be a little lower than your hips. Palms are up. Relax your shoulders. Let yourself start to settle into the room, onto your mat, onto your chair. And just begin to notice your breath. And slowly start to lengthen the breath a little bit deeper. Allowing your exhale to bring you more into the moment, to focusing on your breath and preparing for your practice. We're going to take our hands to our heart, sitting up tall. Make sure your feet are nice and grounded. As you inhale, reach up overhead, touch your hands. Maybe you're even looking up. Exhale, back to your heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Take a breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose or mouth as you come back to your heart center. And 1 more time. Ask yourself how you're feeling this morning and see what comes up for you. Perhaps making an intention of what you want your practice to be. Take your hands onto your thighs, or maybe you're on your hands and knees. Feet and knees are hip width apart. As you inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your front body. So lift the rib cage, the chest, drop your shoulders down. As you exhale, round out the spine, pull the belly button in nice and strong. Let the shoulder blades come up and the head relax. And again, inhaling, lifting. Exhale, round. Slowly bringing your breath in and out the nostrils. Of course, if that's uncomfortable, then make sure it's okay to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Let's do 1 more like this, and then we'll move into a flowing cat-cow. Flowing cat-cow, you bring your knees a little wider, feet are still grounded. So if you're on the floor, you might sit back on your heels and your knees are a little wider, bringing your chest towards the floor. Inhale, lift up, drop your shoulders. Exhale, round out, pull the belly button in all the way to the back. Again, inhale, dropping and lifting. Exhale, round all the way back to your heels or to the back of a chair. Take your time. Full breath. And let's do 2 more. As we come back to rounding out, finishing up our flowing cat-cow, bring your knees back to hip width apart. Lean forward or sit back on your heels into child's pose. Just let your head relax down. Maybe even move it a little bit. See if you're holding tension. We're going to take our hands down towards the floor. If you're on the floor, you're maybe reaching out on the floor in front of you as we lift up to the ceiling, to the sky. Lift your heart to the sky. Exhale it out and let it go. Bring it up again. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth, nice sigh or letting out any energy. Deep breath in, exhale. Two more. And on this last one, bring your arms out in front of you, pull the navel in, really hold your space here, feel the weight on your legs, the strength. And then bring your arms back, palms are facing each other, reaching behind you. Keep a strong core muscles, you're halfway folded. Let's do that again, reach out in front. And back. And on this last one, when you reach out in front, we're going to go and sit up again, reaching for the sky. Take a breath, inhale. Bring one arm down, whether it's to the floor or just in space, or holding on to the chair or your waist to reach over. Palm is facing down. Check the shoulder. Where do you want it to be? Is the upper arm over the ear, or maybe even a little forward if it feels like you need to do that to reach? Let's reach up to the center. Take a breath as an inhale. Reach all the way up and over. Other side. Let's reach up again. Bring the arm under and over and reach. So if that feels uncomfortable because you're letting go, you can still hold on to the chair. Or reach under and over. You could be kneeling on the floor. You could be sitting here if you want on the floor too. Take a breath, inhale, and under, over, exhale. Let's do that one more time on each side. Inhale and exhale. Breathe naturally once you get there. Just let your breath flow with ease. What does that mean for you, to flow with ease? Inhale out, exhale over. Take a breath as you reach, bring your, clasp your hands, your fingers, and push away and round out the spine. Feel the shoulder blades nice and open. Bring your arms to one side. Come back to center. And bring your arms to the other side. Come back to center again. Sitting up, bring your hands back in. Lift your fingers up and move them over. So now it's feeling a little odd. And we'll do the same thing. You're going to push away, round out. Pull the belly button in nice and strong. Reach to one side on a diagonal. Center. And the other side. Center. Sitting back up and let your arms come back to your mountain pose. Bring the knees just a little bit wider, the feet a little wider. Bring your hands onto your thighs. If you are, you could be standing here if you want to, or if you are kneeling with a wider leg, you could do that too, or sitting with your legs out in front of you. We're going to lean forward, take the opposite shoulder or the chest across. Engage your core muscles just enough to support your spine. Back to center as you sit up, and back down and over to the other side. Let's do that again. Come back to sitting up or kneeling, wherever you are. If you're standing, forward and twist. Now for those who shouldn't twist, just go forward and back up. Okay, so some of us, we shouldn't be twisting, just like we all have limitations. You want to listen to your body and honor that. Come on, back up and do the other side. And back up. Staying here with your legs, your feet wide. Take your arm out to the side. We're going to lean forward and reach on a diagonal. Use the other leg or the floor to support you. You're only on the diagonal. You're not reaching across to the side. You're going on a diagonal. Palm is facing inward. And reach as far as you can, as though something's over there. Drop this hip down. Feel that good stretch through the whole side body. Come up just a little bit so you can turn your chest forward to reach over. Deeper side stretch. Keep your head nice in alignment with the rest of the spine. Don't just let your head drop. Reach again on a diagonal. And then reach across in front of you and come on back up. If you are standing and you're doing this, you're going to squeeze those glutes to stand. Let's try the other side. Bringing the arm out, leaning forward to reach. On a diagonal, move the palm inward. That allows your shoulder to move with more ease. Come up a little bit so you can reach to the side. Bring your chest forward. And reaching out again on a diagonal. Reaching across to come back up. Bring your legs back to your mountain pose. Breathe. Just give yourself a moment checking in. Feel the energy flowing through the body. Noticing what you need here. We're going to move the hip flexor a little bit, lift it up, out, and around. So you can hold onto your chair. You can be on your back. You could be seated on the floor. If you are seated on the floor, you might lean back a little bit. Okay, so you could do that too, working your core muscles in the chair. I'm just going to make circles with the knee. You can be on your hands and knees. So there's so many different ways you can adapt the same movement. Let's go back the opposite way, all the way out, up, and around. And we're going to switch sides. So if you're sitting back, make sure you engage your core muscles enough to support you so you're not rounding like this. You're really strong. Make some circles with the knee, up and out. Let's go the opposite way. And come back to your mountain pose. Let's just lift the heel, alternating. Lift to heel, lift to heel. Just moving the ankles. Push down on the balls of the feet if you want to. Really lift the toes, spread them wide, push down. You want to work the ankles and the feet, the calves a little bit more. Just reach out if you want to not hold on. And now we're going to just alternate tapping. Tap, tap, tap the toes. As you sit back up, we're going to work that piriformis muscle or hip as you cross the ankle. You can also use a block or a stool and put your foot onto it like this, or cross at the thigh. You can be on your back for this as well if you're on the floor, or you could be seated. Let's flex the foot and point the toes that are on top. So if it's even crossed, point and flex. Rotate the ankle a couple times. And the opposite way. Sitting up nice and tall, let's bring your hands to your heart center. If you're on your back, you could do this too as you reach up overhead. If you want, as you lift up, look up at your hands, maybe even push them back a little bit to get a deeper stretch in the upper body, in the front body. Exhale back to your heart center. Inhale, reach. And exhale. One more time. Coming back to your heart center. You can stay here or fold forward. Pull the navel in, getting a deeper stretch here. You'll know how far you should go. Don't round out. Keeping a neutral spine. Pull the navel in enough to keep neutral. Relax your shoulders. If you're on your back, you might be bringing your knees towards your chest. If it feels good, go ahead and reach out in front of you. And as we reach up, inhale, take a deep breath. And exhale, reach across to the opposite leg. Bring the other arm down either to the side of the chair, the back of the chair on the floor. And stay here or start to twist to wherever your spine wants to go. Keep your chest up, relax your shoulders. We're going to reach for the sky towards the center. Again, inhale and go the opposite way, reaching to the opposite leg for the twist the other way. And reaching for the sky again, bring your arms down, wide fingers, wide arms back to your side and release the leg. Take a deep breath here. Just notice how you're feeling. Always give yourself a moment to check in. So you're not rushing anything. And then cross the ankles the other way. Other leg comes on top, maybe higher on a block or on a stool or up onto your thigh. Point and flex the foot. Rotate the ankle. Other way. Bring your hands to your heart. Reaching up overhead, touch your hands. reaching further back or lifting higher. Exhale back to your heart center. And two more. When you're back to your heart center, you could stay right here or fold forward. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your head in line with the spine. If it feels right, go ahead and reach out. As we reach up for the sky for our twist, take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale, reaching across. Find your breath. Just noticing how you feel here as the breath flows. And reaching up for the sky to go the other way. And reaching it back up center. Let your arms come back down to your side and bring the leg back down. Let's do a few windshield wipers. You can be on your back for this if you're on the floor, or even just sitting back on your sits bones. So you're going to sit a little bit back here, bring your legs wider and bring your knees back and forth. Now, you can also be using your upper body by lifting yourself up to move the hips if you want to. If not, you can still move. Just make sure always you're pivoting your foot so your knees go with you. The pelvis should move with you so that nothing's torqued. It just all moves with ease. That's our goal, right? Our intention is to move in this world with ease, whatever that is. It's different for everybody. To find our own ease, our own flow. Come on back to center. Give yourself a moment here to check in. I'm going to go to standing. You may always stay in the chair for everything, or adapt however you feel, whether it's at a wall. I'm going to use the chair for stability. You can use nothing. You can use blocks with the floor. For downward facing dog, you're going to fold forward, pull the belly button in as strong as you can. Maybe you're holding on to the chair, your thighs, or reaching out. Either one. When we move, you can lift your knee, alternating your feet as well. If we're lifting a leg behind us, you would be lifting a leg in front of you. Okay. And then we're going to do a warrior two in the chair. Warrior two will be bringing one leg to the side like this, or you can also take that front leg into your warrior two like this and be a little wider. So you adapt however is right for you. And it may even be different with each leg. So for those who are able and wanting to stand, go ahead and find your standing position. You can use the seat of the chair. I'm going to use the seat of the chair. If you use the back of the chair, that's fine. Just be sure that you that it's stable and you're not leaning on it so much that it tilts. You always want to find stability first and then move. So finding your mountain pose, standing nice and tall. Think of the between the second and third toe, that space is going forward. So for me, the outside of my feet are parallel to each other, but for some, their feet may be structured differently, and they want to look at the between the second and third toe. That will help you to know. You want to line the pelvis up with the femur, so everything feels stable. If we bring our feet too close together, we're crunching at the sacroiliac joint, so just we want to be standing with ease. So we're in our mountain pose. Folding forward, pulling the navel in nice and strong so you can walk your feet back out. Feet are still hip width apart. If they want to be a little wider, that's okay. Push your hips up and back. Drop your shoulders enough, keep the back open. Your ears are between the arms rather than dropping or extending. You can rock a little bit, just see how the legs feel. Lift one heel up at a time. Back. And find your breath in your downward facing dog. We're going to take one leg forward into our warrior two. So taking the back foot, moving it to the side. You're with a mat. This side foot is going to be parallel to the mat. So your toes are slightly forward. They're not completely to the side like this. So that your hip can move more with gently, because we're not against a wall like that. We just don't move that way. We're not structured that way. Warrior two, you bring your arms out to the side, lift your chest, drop your shoulder blades down, front knee over the ankle. Look beyond your fingertips. Find something out there to focus on and breathe. Check this knee. If it starts to fall in, externally rotate it back so that the knee is in the same direction as the toes. Let's open up the back by taking the back arm forward and pulling it through like a bow and arrow. Reaching forward and pull it through. Do two more after this. Reach, exhale, pull through. From here, let's lengthen the leg, bring the toes in. You can bring your arms down or keep them out, or even on your waist. You can have the chair in front of you. You can adjust yourself so you're like this. You can, or a block, and fold halfway forward. Pull the navel in. You can hold on to your chair. You can put your hands on blocks. Just go halfway first. Once you're halfway and you can feel the legs stretching like that, then if it feels good, drop your head down. You can put your hands down on the floor, a block, or the chair. Right? You can also put your head on the chair or on a block. If you have high blood pressure or things going on with your eyes, retina detachment, glaucoma, whatever, you may want to stay just halfway. If it feels good, go ahead and drop down. Hold the navel in nice and strong. And if for some of us, it feels good to grab elbows, right? The opposite elbow, and just let yourself hang here. Bring your hands onto your thighs, come up halfway, look at the floor or the chair, wherever you are. Give yourself a couple breaths here to keep you from getting dizzy. You come up halfway and then stand all the way up. And let's switch sides for our warrior two. But before we do that, let's go back into a downward facing dog. So I'm going to turn my chair so I can face you. Find your mountain pose. Folding forward and going into your downward facing dog. Really strong core muscles here. Really pull in. Walk it out if you want to. Rock a little bit. You're going to take the other foot forward for warrior two. So you're turning the other foot to the so that it is parallel to the mat. Bring the knee down over the ankle, bring your arms out. Find something not moving out there and focus on it. Feel your strength and stability. Let this hip just turn wherever it wants to go. We're going to take the back arm to reach forward and pull it through. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Lengthen this front leg, turn the toes in. Hands are on your thighs or on your waist. Fold halfway. Now notice that your feet are a little pigeon-toed here, right? Pull, it's opening up the hips. Pull the belly button in. Go halfway, and if it feels right, drop the head down. Putting your hands onto your thighs, come up halfway again, looking at the floor. Breathe. And then come to standing. Bring your heels in, toes in, come back to your mountain pose. Sitting or standing. Find your ears over your shoulders, shoulders over your hips. And if you're standing, then hips over the knees, knees over the ankle. Maybe close your eyes or have a soft gaze in front of you, softening the vision so you can go more inward. Feel your stability and your balance, your calmness. And repeat to yourself, my body is strong, my mind is at peace. My body is strong, my mind is at peace. Your mind wanders, and it might, just go right back to that mantra. My body is strong, my mind is at peace. Gently opening your eyes. I'm going to go back to the chair. Feel free to go to the floor if that's what you want to do. We're going to do some boat pose, and I'm going to modify it for you so you can adapt it how what works for you. So finding your chair or the floor, you're going to sit back in the chair. Now you can, or on the floor, you're going to sit back on your sits bones. Now you might have the back of your chair touching your back. If that feels right, you can do that too. Just make sure you're going to tuck your tailbone so that you're using your abdominal muscles. Okay. Otherwise, I have my elbows sometimes touching almost the chair, like, and I'm sitting back on my tailbone, sits bone. Lift one knee up. Bring it down and sit back up. Sitting back, pull the navel in, lift the other knee. Bring the foot down and sit back up. So we're using our abdominal muscles, strengthening. Sit back up, lift the knee, bring the foot down and back up. Sitting back, lift, and back. Now, if you want to, if it's too much to go back up and down, just stay back here and lift the knee, bring it down, lift the knee, alternating. Pull that navel in, tucking the tailbone enough. Add a little more challenge if you want to. Lift a full leg. You can come back up to sit up and sit back as well. Good form will help you move with ease, but also allow you to check in and see what is right for you today. Yesterday, this might have felt fine to just lift both legs off the floor, and then today it doesn't feel good, right? So it depends. If lifting a foot off the floor feels too much, maybe lift just the heel and alternate that way. Again, if you want a little more challenge than that, maybe you'll lift both legs. So you sit back, make sure you're using your abdominal muscles, and lift the knees off and the feet off the floor with knees. Sit back up again or not. So many choices. The other thing you can do is sit back and lift both legs up and straight, and then come back. Or just stay there. Breathe. Where are you feeling today? Go ahead and practice a little bit more, finding your own pace, because maybe you just tried all of these. Which one resonates with you today? And do that. As you come back to sitting up, if you are on the floor, you might want to go onto your hands and knees. We're going to do a few more cat cows, lifting up and rounding out. Nice stretching here. If you're on the floor, you might go onto your back so that you can reach one leg in front of you, straight. I'm going to show you sideways. It will be easier. You're bringing one leg in front and the opposite arm back. Now, if you want a little bit more than that in the stretch, you could sit all the way back in your chair and reach back and reach the leg forward as well. When you're ready, you come back up, switch sides, bring one leg out and reaching the other arm. Make sure that palm is facing inward, letting your shoulder move. Maybe you're sitting all the way back and doing a stretch this way. Coming back. So on the floor, it will be easier, right? Or in the bed or somewhere, but it does work in the chair. The other thing, so we're going to do one leg out, other leg stretching. The other one leg out, the arm, the opposite arm. Come back up and try the other way. Come back up. Bring both legs out in front of you. Sit back or sit or not. You can reach up like this or sit back in your chair and reach up overhead. Coming back, lift one knee up towards your chest. So you could do this on your back or in the chair. You're sitting back. Lift the knee up, squeeze it in, and bring it down and lift the other one up. Squeeze it in. Now, if you're lifting the leg is too much, lift the heel up again. You can always do that, just working your legs. Doesn't matter on which way, like how far. You can also put your foot on a block so that it's folding a little bit and stretching. Squeeze the knee in if you pull the belly button in to help you. And alternate that. Sitting back up or going back onto your hands and knees to do a few more cat cows. Take a breath, inhale, make sure you're dropping your shoulders, exhale, round it out. So your shoulder blades go down and back up towards the ears as you round. Back up. We're laying back down on the floor. We're going to do some relaxation, some meditation. Feel free to use a block under your feet or a pillow to help for grounding. Sit all the way back in your chair so that your back is touching if you want to, or sit on the edge of your chair to sit up with the feet on the floor. Just find yourself in a good position where you're upright. If you are laying down, see if you can have your head a little bit above your heart, calmer for the nervous system, also to allow you to not fall asleep, maybe a little bit. Finding your position, allow your eyes to soften, maybe even close. Noticing your breath, what's it doing? How's it feeling? We're going to imagine a feather with our breath. The feather is floating up as you inhale through the nose, and we're going to count it out to 3 counts. Then we're going to hover for a moment and exhale it out as you see the feather floating back down for 3 counts, and hover for a moment down here. So it's not quite the box breath because we're not going to hold at the top and the bottom. We're going to just hover for a moment and then let the breath go out. Using controlled, slow breath. If it's too much on the counting, you can shorten it. If you need to go extend it more, you can extend it. Okay? So we're just going to start together first, and then you're going to find your way. What is working for you? So breathing naturally. We're going to inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Hover for a moment. Exhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Hover. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Continue at your own pace. Counting it out helps you stay in the moment and stay focused. For 1 more minute. Begin to bring your breath back to its natural rhythm, slowly letting go of control of the breath, breathing naturally. If you are laying down, please roll over to one side, take a couple breaths on your side, and then push yourself up to a seated position. When you're seated, place one hand on top of the other at your heart center. Just ask yourself how you're feeling at this moment. And give yourself a moment for gratitude. If you'd like to join me in a final Om being the universal sound, it ends in silence. Take a deep breath through the nose, fill the lungs to its full capacity. Oh. Thank you for joining me. Wishing you a peaceful and a healthy week ahead. Namaste.